My name is Linda Williams. At 62, I'm sometimes surprised to see how much I've aged when I look in the mirror. But in my heart, I still feel young. 5 years ago, I lost my beloved husband George, and since then, I've been living alone in this big house. Located in a quiet suburb of New England on Maple Street, this house is filled with our memories. As I gaze at the trees turning red and yellow, I fondly recall the days I spent with George. To combat loneliness, I tutor neighborhood children twice a week. They call me Mrs. Williams or Aunt Linda, and their bright smiles encourage me daily. Teaching has become one of my reasons for living. My son Kevin is 34. He works for an IT company and lives in the next town. He's intelligent and dedicated to his work. Perhaps because of that, he's so busy that we don't get to see each other often. He got married 3 years ago, and my adorable grandson Liam was born. Liam is already 4 years old. He's full of energy and my pride and joy. To be honest, I'm not very close with Kevin's wife, Stephanie. She's beautiful and well-educated, but there's something about her that makes it hard for me to warm up to her. We only see each other about once every 6 months. I feel reluctant to visit without a reason, which makes it sad that I can't see my grandson more often. Still, seeing Kevin happy puts me at ease as a mother. Stephanie takes good care of Liam and seems to be raising him almost single-handedly while Kevin is busy with work. I'm grateful to her for that. At dusk, I go out to the garden to tend to my roses and think about my family. Although I feel lonely without George, I have Kevin and Liam. Thinking about that warms my heart. Tomorrow, I have a tutoring session after a long while. As I imagine the smiles of my students, I start preparing dinner. After finishing my tutoring work and returning home, I found a new message on my smartphone. It was from my son Kevin. When I opened it, there was a photo of my cute grandson Liam's birthday party attached. Liam is already 4 years old. Happy birthday. Can I come visit with a present? Kevin quickly replied, "Please come anytime, Mom." My heart was filled with joy. I'm really happy to see Liam. But at the same time, I'm a little worried about the awkwardness with Stephanie. Still, the joy of seeing my grandson outweighs that. A week later, I bought Liam's birthday present and visited Kevin's house. At the big shopping mall, I chose a toy of a character that Liam might like. In addition, I bought some local specialty sweets that Kevin has liked since he was young. When the door opened, Liam came running towards me shouting, "Grandma." Seeing his smile makes my heart melt. Happy birthday, Liam. Just as I was about to hug him, Stephanie approached, offering me slippers while pulling Liam away from me. Liam, step back. Welcome, mother-in-law. It's been a while. Thank you for coming today. She had a smile on her face, but her words lacked warmth. Stephanie, excuse me. It's been a while. Kevin too. I pretended not to notice her attitude and headed to the living room. I gave the sweets to Stephanie and the wrapped toy to Liam. When Liam opened the wrapping paper and saw the contents, he started jumping with joy. Wow, It's the toy I wanted. Thank you, Grandma. He immediately took out the toy and started playing with it. Mom, Liam is really happy. Thank you, Kevin said. It's fine, we don't get to meet often anyway. While watching my grandson having fun, the three of us had a bit of conversation. However, Kevin's phone rang in the middle, and he said, "It's a work call, excuse me for a moment," and left his seat. You're still busy as ever. Stephanie, thank you for always taking care of Kevin and Liam. When I said this to Stephanie, I was surprised to see her expression change. She was glaring at me with a stern face. Mother-in-law, could you please refrain from giving Liam character toys? Stephanie stared at me with a cold, expressionless voice. At this moment, I strongly felt the discomfort of being in my son's house. But I thought I had to overcome this situation for my grandson, and for my son. A few days later, I took advantage of a holiday to go shopping at the local shopping mall, Oakwood Plaza. I was planning to look for new gardening supplies during the end of summer sale. As I was walking near the large fountain in the center of the mall, I suddenly heard a familiar voice. Grandma. When I turned around, there stood Liam. His ponytail was bouncing. And next to him was Stephanie. Oh, Liam. Stephanie. What a surprise to meet you here. Liam tried to run towards me, but Stephanie tightly grabbed his hand. Liam, don't run. Stephanie's voice had a hint of sternness. Is Kevin working today too? I asked, and Stephanie's expression tensed a bit. Yes, he's on a business trip. Her way of answering seemed somewhat awkward. Where were you heading? We were going to the department store in front of the station. Stephanie's voice seemed to tremble a little. Since I was going in the same direction, I suggested, I'm going the same way. Shall we go together? Are you shopping for something for Liam? Suddenly, Stephanie's expression changed. Mother-in-law, please stop. I don't want you to come along. I was just. That's excessive interference. Don't decide on your own. Overwhelmed by Stephanie's intensity, I was at a loss for words. At that moment, Liam said with a smile. Grandma, we're going to Olivia's house. Liam nodded. Oh, so you're going to a friend's house? Yes, that's right. Stephanie reluctantly admitted, but her attitude seemed increasingly strange. I see. You could have just said so from the beginning. I thought, but perhaps it would be intrusive for a mother-in-law to accompany them when visiting a friend. Well then, take care. Yes, I understand. Come on, Liam, let's go. Stephanie hurriedly pulled Liam's hand and left. As I watched them walk away, I felt a nagging sensation in my chest. I had a feeling that there was something hidden in Stephanie's attitude. On the way home, I kept thinking about that incident. Stephanie's reaction wasn't normal. And the name Olivia bothers me. Is it Liam's friend? Or? I shook my head, trying to shake off unnecessary imagination. Surely, I must be overthinking. A few months later, I suddenly received a phone call from Kevin. Mom, we're moving at the end of next month. It's for work. Oh, is that so? Are you going farther away than now? It's a bit farther, but still a distance where you can come visit anytime if you want. Thinking that we already don't have many opportunities to meet, and now they'll be even further away, I felt a bit lonely. I see, at least let me help with the move. Wanting to be useful one last time, I asked about my son's moving schedule. Thanks, Mom. But it's okay. We're leaving everything to the moving company. I felt a little sad at Kevin's words, but I understand his consideration. I see. But if there's anything I can help with, let me know. I can help organize Liam's things, for example. Got it. Thanks. After hanging up, I stared out the window, thinking about the upcoming changes. Liam, my precious granddaughter. It's hard to think about the distance between us growing. But if it's for Kevin's work, I suppose it can't be helped. A few days later, Kevin sent me the details of the move. It includes the date, new address, and plans for moving day. I read it over and over, trying to commit it to memory. As the moving day approached, I kept thinking about what I could do to help. In the end, I was asked to help with cleaning the day before the move. Mom, it would be helpful if you could come in the morning tomorrow. When Kevin said this, I happily agreed. Of course. I'd be glad to come. Can I help with Liam's room too? Oh, that would be great. Liam's things aren't packed at all yet. The next day, I woke up early, prepared, and headed to Kevin's house. When I arrived, there was already a large moving truck parked in front of the house. When I opened the front door, the inside was already full of cardboard boxes. In the living room, Kevin and Stephanie were busy sorting belongings. Good morning, Kevin. Stephanie. Mom, thanks for coming. Kevin greeted me with a smile. Stephanie, on the other hand, just gave a slight nod and immediately returned to packing. Where's Liam? He's playing upstairs. Mom, could you help clean up Liam's room? Of course. I'll go right away. I went upstairs and headed to Liam's room. When I opened the door, I saw Liam playing with dolls. Grandma. Liam ran up to me happily. Good morning, Liam. Let's work hard on preparing for the move, okay? Yeah. I started organizing Liam's belongings with her. As I packed toys and clothes into cardboard boxes, I tried to cherish this time with my granddaughter. Liam, are you excited about the new house? Yes, but will I not be able to see you anymore, Grandma? Seeing Liam's worried face, my heart tightened. Of course not. Grandma will definitely come to visit. Besides, we can talk on the phone, right? Really? Do you promise? Of course. I promise. Liam's face brightened. We continued packing, but in my heart, I felt a little anxious about how this change would affect our family. On moving day, I headed to my son's house as promised. However, when I arrived, there was no moving truck or any sign of people in front of the house. Thinking it was strange, I rang the doorbell several times, but there was no response. That's odd. Feeling uneasy, I decided to use the spare key Kevin had given me to enter. When I opened the door, an astonishing sight greeted me. The house was completely empty, as if no one had ever lived there. Only nail marks remained on the walls, and dust was floating in the rooms. What's going on? As I walked around the house in confusion, I encountered a breathtaking scene when I entered the living room. In the corner of the room, a little girl was sitting huddled up. And she was handcuffed. It can't be. Liam. I hurriedly tried to approach the girl, but she recoiled in fear. A foul odor lingered in the room, and half-eaten bread and empty water bottles were scattered on the floor. The curtains were closed, and the girl's figure was dimly visible in the dark room. With trembling hands, I called Kevin. Kevin. What's going on? Liam is. Huh? Mom, what are you talking about? Kevin's voice was filled with confusion. I'm at your house right now. Liam is handcuffed. Wait, Mom. We've already moved. Liam is with us. Kevin's words made my mind go blank. Mom, are you okay? What's wrong? But Liam is here. Perhaps sensing my confusion, Kevin spoke to me gently. Mom, that's not Liam. Is there perhaps some other child there? Brought back to reality by his words, I took a good look at the girl again. Indeed, she looks very similar to Liam, but upon closer inspection, she seems a bit older. I'm sorry, Kevin. I got confused. It's okay, Mom. But if there's a child there, you might want to contact the police. Yes, I'll do that. Sorry for worrying you. After hanging up, I turned my attention back to the girl. She's not Liam. But who is she? And why is she here? You're not Liam, are you? The girl remained silent, looking at me with frightened eyes. It's okay, don't be afraid. My name is Linda. What's your name? After a moment of silence, I heard a faint voice. Olivia. Olivia. That's a nice name. How old are you? Olivia held up 5 fingers. 5 years old, I see. Why are you here? Olivia hesitated a bit before starting to talk. She told me that until a week ago, she had been living with her father, but suddenly her father disappeared, and her mother appeared and brought her here in the middle of the night. Mom said to stay here. So, as I listened to Olivia's story, anger began to well up inside me. I was cold, hungry, and scared all alone. As I hugged the crying Olivia, I felt like my heart was about to burst. To do such a thing to a child. This isn't human. Who on earth? Trembling with anger, I asked Olivia for her mother's name, and she finally uttered it. At that moment, everything connected. With shaking hands, I took out my phone and contacted a certain person. After explaining the situation in detail, the person on the other end of the phone, though at a loss for words, promised to come right away. After that, I took Olivia to the hospital. I had her examined by a doctor to check her nutritional status and health condition. Fortunately, there didn't seem to be any serious health issues, but I was told she would need mental care. Olivia, rest at the hospital for a while. I'll be back soon. Olivia looked anxious but nodded slightly. After leaving the hospital, I returned to Kevin's empty house. And I decided to hide and wait in the closet. I'll definitely uncover the truth. In the darkness, I made a firm resolution. And I waited for the sound of the front door opening. Around noon the next day, I heard the sound of the front door key turning. I held my breath in the closet, watching the situation closely. I brought food. Stephanie entered the living room carrying a supermarket plastic bag. However, only the handcuffs remained there, and Olivia was nowhere to be seen. I could see Stephanie's face turn pale. "Hey, Olivia. Where are you? Answer me." Yes, Olivia was the name of the child Stephanie had said was Liam's friend. Olivia had told me everything. As I watched Stephanie desperately searching around the house, I slowly came out of the closet. "Are you looking for Olivia? She's not here anymore. WH. Mother-in-law." Stephanie, who had returned with a confused expression, froze when she saw me. "I found her. She's being properly taken care of." Stephanie, realizing she had been found out, clicked her tongue and seemed to be thinking about something. "Why did you do this? Tell me the truth." I tried to speak gently, but Stephanie suddenly broke down crying. "Actually, before I met Kevin, I was dating a man named Stanton, and I had Olivia out of wedlock." Stephanie started talking with her head down, looking pained. "But Stanton became violent, so I broke up with him." "I see. That must have been hard. And then, in the end, I ended up taking care of Olivia alone. I didn't want to let her go. But I had no income, and she was forcibly taken away from me." Stephanie continued speaking through tears. "Even after marrying Kevin, I sometimes went to Stanton's apartment. I was worried about Olivia. On the day Liam said he was playing with Olivia, they were actually heading to Stanton's house. It seems she was creating opportunities for Liam and Olivia to play together like siblings. They're both only children. I thought it would be good for them. However, a week ago, Stanton contacted her and then disappeared. His apartment was also terminated, and Olivia had nowhere to go. Stephanie had no choice but to bring Olivia to this house, where the contract was still valid until the end of the month. I swear, I had no contact with Stanton after marrying Kevin. But Olivia is still a precious child to me." As I listened silently, Stephanie looked up with teary eyes. "But I couldn't destroy my family with Kevin and Liam. As a mother, you understand, right?" Stephanie collapsed to the floor, crying like a mother thinking of her child. "Hey, you said Olivia is a precious child, right?" "Yes, of course." I looked down at Stephanie with cold eyes and said, "Then why did you handcuff her and put her in diapers? Why did you call feeding her baiting?" That's... Stephanie's expression, which had been crying like a tragic heroine, suddenly hardened. "I thought you were a devoted mother, but is it okay to treat a child like this?" "Even so." She avoided my gaze, sweat dripping from her forehead. "What's this?" I took out my cell phone and showed Stephanie a video. It showed Liam and Olivia playing in front of an apartment with Stanton's surname on the nameplate. Moreover, Stephanie's voice could be heard from inside the apartment. "You took Liam to Stanton's house to have a relationship with him, and abandoned Olivia. Isn't that right?" "This is." The night before, I had tracked down the apartment where Olivia had been living and asked the neighbors for information. One concerned resident had recorded the situation. "Can you still say you cherish your child? You were having a relationship with Stanton, weren't you?" Stephanie turned bright red and started trembling. "Mother-in-law. We were a happy family, weren't we? Don't ruin that. Please don't tell my husband." I pushed away Stephanie as she desperately clung to me. "Why should I keep quiet?" "Because he is." Just as Stephanie was about to say something, the balcony door opened, and Kevin was standing there. "Because I'm a lawyer." Kevin. Stephanie finally collapsed to her knees. "Yes, my son Kevin is a lawyer." She gaped in shock for a moment, but suddenly revealed her true nature and glared at me. "Why is Kevin here? Did you snitch on me?" As Stephanie, red-faced, tried to lunge at me, Kevin stopped her. "I heard everything. You've been betraying me all this time, haven't you?" "That's not true. Listen." Now she clings to Kevin. "Stanton is just a good-for-nothing who doesn't even work. I was tricked." In a panic, Stephanie blurted out something unbelievable. "That man is just good in bed. You're a high-earning lawyer. You're the suitable husband." Kevin looked at Stephanie with an unbearable expression. "I couldn't forgive the affair alone, but handcuffing a child. You're inhuman. I can't forgive this." "Don't say that." Stephanie screamed like a child and started to thrash about, while Kevin looked at her with a disgusted expression. "Stephanie, we're getting a divorce. I'll take custody. And I've already called the police, so stay put. Everything I've built is falling apart. It's all your fault. If only you hadn't found that child." Finally cornered, Stephanie pulled a knife out of her bag. Then, she ran towards me. "Mom, watch out." At that moment, I skillfully dodged Stephanie. She yelled, "Damn it," and lunged at me again, but I dodged once more. "Stop running away, you old hag." On her third attack, I knocked the knife out of her hand. "Did you forget that I run a self-defense class and am a martial arts expert?" I pinned Stephanie to the floor, and she groaned in pain. Then, the sirens of the police Kevin had called approached. "Let go of me. Someone who shows no signs of remorse must face punishment for their crimes." Ignoring Stephanie's screams, I continued to hold her down. Eventually, the police arrived, and Stephanie was taken away screaming. Kevin and I just silently watched her being led away. I submitted photographic evidence and gave my testimony. It was discovered that Stephanie had also brought tools to dispose of Olivia. I had been wondering what she was planning to do after handcuffing her, but after hearing from the police, I was horrified to learn she had thought that far ahead. In the end, Stephanie was arrested, and her affair partner Stanton was also questioned. Kevin and Stephanie's divorce was finalized, and Kevin gained custody of Liam. Kevin said he would claim damages from both Stephanie and Stanton, and make sure Stephanie pays child support. Stephanie, having lost everything, will likely face a harsh life even after being released. Olivia was taken in by Stanton's parents. When they came to pick her up, they seemed like decent people unlike Stanton, so I'm relieved for now. At Kevin's request, I moved in with him to help raise Liam. At first, Liam was confused by the change in environment, but gradually warmed up to me, and now I'm even teaching him martial arts. Grandma, I want to get stronger. Every time Liam says this with shining eyes, I feel happy. Yes, Liam. It's important to be strong, but don't forget to be kind too. Okay, I understand. I'll be kind to Olivia too. Liam and Olivia still play together occasionally. Their bond seems to be growing purely, transcending the problems of adults. One day, Kevin came home from work and said to me, "Mom, thank you so much. I don't know what would have happened to our family without you." It's only natural, Kevin. We're family. I hugged my son. Tears were glistening in his eyes. But, Mom, I can't forgive Stephanie. Even when she gets out of prison, I'll never let her see Liam. I understand. Liam's safety is the most important thing. That night, I went out to the garden and looked up at the starry sky. I remembered George. Hey, George. Our family has been through a lot, but we're managing somehow. You're watching over us too, aren't you? A gentle breeze caressed my cheek. It was as if George was whispering, "Everything will be all right. There will surely be more difficulties ahead. But I believe we can overcome them." Watching over Liam's growth, praying for Olivia's happiness, and continuing to support Kevin. That is my mission now. Family bonds are sometimes tested. However, with truth and love, any difficulty can be overcome. That's what I believe. And when all the wounds have healed someday, I'm sure we will have become a stronger, kinder family. Dreaming of that day, I'm determined to do my best tomorrow too. To protect my granddaughter's smile, and for the happiness of our family.